Greetings, Android users. This is Reverend Kyle, your Minister of Mobile Devices. And I want to start this video by telling you a story. Several weeks back, somebody asked me on my forum here, whatever happened to TWRP? You use Clockwork Recovery on all of your videos nowadays, and whatever happened to TWRP? And honestly, I wasn't sure what had happened to TWRP, and for lack of anything better to say, I had said that TWRP was dead. The purpose of this video is to introduce you to TWRP Reborn, or as they call it over at Teamwin, TWRP 2.0, or 2.1 at this point. Teamwin, who had originally developed TWRP, has come out with a new version of it. Now there was some things that occurred, and the team is restructured, let's put it that way, and now we have a new and improved and reborn TWRP in a 2.1 form. Now the concept of TWRP has always been you have a touch device, the ability to touch the screen device. Now, not all of your devices are going to have volume buttons or home buttons. The Kindle Fire has one button, so you can't do a lot with it. The touch capability in a recovery program is what makes TWRP unique, and in some cases absolutely necessary. Now, I do want to throw out a couple names here. As you can see, Troy is a very key component in this process. There is also another thing I'm going to introduce you to in this video called Goo Manager, and Soup is another person I want to throw out a name. And let's just go and look at all of them. If you look at the members of Teamwin, you have Eyeballer, who was very gracious to spend some time with me learning the ins and outs of what we're going to look at today, and definitely Soup and Destroy and everybody on this list here. Thank you all so very much for what you've done to make this come to life for all of us. I mean, there's so many different devices that the TWRP program works for. I mean, we can go over and take a look here at we can look at the devices that it runs on. I mean, you've got a wide, Sensation, which is the phone that I have. You've got obviously the HP touchpad, which is what we're going to be using for demonstration today. The Amazon Kindle Fire, that's another device that I have, and I'll be doing some videos on that soon. You have a wide variety of devices here. Now, along with the TWRP, like I said, we're also going to talk about Goo Manager, and Goo Manager is something that has a lot of really interesting features that we're going to look at as well. Goo Manager integrates itself with TWRP. They are almost twins in the sense that they rely on each other, and they work together harmoniously to bring wonderful things to your device. So we're going to take a look at that as well. But I do want to encourage you to come over here to the Teamwin website, teamw.in, obviously, and I encourage you to take a look at what they have. There's some information if you're a themer. TWRP 2 is all about theming, and then you can also see the other things that Teamwin has in the works. So now we're going to go over to my HP touchpad, and we're going to take a look at Goo Manager, and we're going to take a look at TWRP and how it integrates with the HP touchpad. All right, so I'm at my HP touchpad here, and I am in the MoBoot menu. This is the menu that tells us what we have in terms of choices to boot to. Now, WebOS dual booting with Clockwork mod and the CyanogenMod 9 build. Let me just go in to show you real quick here that I am currently running the Clockwork Recovery. This is the normal routine recovery that most devices have had in the past, and obviously mine does currently, but that's going to change. So I just wanted to show you that that's where I am now. I have CWM, or Clockwork Recovery mod, and so I'm going to reboot my device. And we are going to go into CyanogenMod 9, which will be by default. And And the first thing we're going to do once we get in here is we're actually going to install, we're going to go out to the app market and install an app called Goo Manager. Goo Manager, some of you may realize that Goo is where the your G apps and your some of your nightlies, some of the teams store their nightlies on the Goo servers, and this is really important that that this program gives us the capability that the Goo Manager is actually gives us the ability to go out and download from the Goo servers any of the updates or ROMs or GApps that are available. And this is just a fantastic app. I do want to go out and download this. This device right now is running an official CyanogenMod 9 nightly. I believe it was an early April nightly, and I'm going to go in and do Goo Manager. Okay, Goo Manager beta, and here it is. So I'm going to hit download and accept. Now, what I recommend to you now, not all of you have HP touchpads. Some of you have other tablets, you know, the Transformer or, you know, the Kindle Fire or whatever. Be aware that the Goo Manager is only going to show you what is available on the Goo server. So if your particular developer doesn't store their ROMs on the Goo servers, then they will not be available for you. So it looks like it's downloaded. Let's go ahead and open it. And the first thing that we need to do here, since we're still running Clockwork Recovery, is we need to install the TWRP. And this app will actually install TWRP for you. And I was very pleased to hear that that's what's going to happen. So I'm going to go up here in the upper right to menu, and we're going to do Install Open Recovery Script. Now it's going to ask for super user requests. We're going to allow as usual. And unfortunately, just due to the nature of the super user getting in the way here, you actually have to go up and do it again. And it says, are you sure you want to do this? This will download and write a recovery image to your phone. Absolutely. We certainly do. And it says, are you sure you'd like to do this? And it's telling us that this is what's going to download is TWRP 2.1.1 for the Tenderloin, which is the code name for the touchpad. Yes, I certainly do. Now something very what I think is very cool it just happened here. It basically opened up, the only way I could describe this is a proprietary browser window. It went out to the Goo server, and it went to the page we would see from our computer, and it downloads the file. And you can see it downloading now in the bottom right-hand corner. And we don't have to interact with this. We just wait for it to download, and I'll even show you here that it's downloading. And it says that Goo Manager needs to reboot, and well, it's doing that now. And it's all very automated. The purpose of the Goo Manager plus the TWRP is all about automation. And we're going to take a look here at, we're going to see TWRP here in just a moment. You can see it installing like it would install any other package. It's fantastic. Okay, now let's stop here for just a moment. We have boot WebOS, boot CyanogenMod, and boot Clockwork Mod. Now, what's changed? I remember the last time I installed TWRP, I actually had boot TWRP. For simplicity and for ease of use, the Teamwin team has changed the name so it's seamless for those of you, the rookies or noobs or whatever, to make it easier and much simpler. If you do decide to change back to Clockwork Mod or you want to stay with, it's all very seamless. And it also helps for when you have to reboot into Clockwork or a recovery program, when you need to reboot into it, now it can actually see TWRP in all of its glory. So I'm going to go down to where it says boot Clockwork Mod, and I anticipate that it will now give me TWRP, because that is what we just installed. Look at that, Teamwin logo. And here is TWRP 2.1, actually 2.1.1. Shows me all the same stuff. It has a touch interface, so you have install, you have a home button or back, you have the ability to do backups, and this is I really like this feature. I think this is a neat feature. You have the choice of what you back up, and when it's time to actually back up, there is a swipe to backup option. And this is something that, you know, the Teamwin group heard people saying, well, the interface wasn't maybe necessarily the most intuitive, and they did stuff to make it better, and I'm very pleased with this. I think this is great. So we have options here, and I'm not going to go into all of the features. I do want to point out one thing that I thought was really neat, is that you can actually choose a multiple of zip files to install all at one time, as opposed to having to install one, go back, install another one, go back. That was always annoying to me when I had multiple zips I had to install. This program allows you to zip queue, and I think that's fantastic. So you have your home and your back, and I'm going to go back to home. You have your wipe, and it's all very quick and very easy, and there's settings, and you can go in. It force checks itself MD5s if you need to do that. You can this is a nice feature. You can mount this. You can mount the SD card. You can actually mount the SD card and then mount USB storage, and it'll go out and you can plug this bad boy into your computer and go in and manipulate files on your SD card, which is fantastic. Okay, so that's TWRP. TWRP 2.1.1. Fantastic. I really encourage you to do this as soon as you possibly can. Let's go into reboot and let's go back into our system. Okay, we're back to my screen here, and you'll notice that it's added a Goo Manager icon. It says goo.im, and we're going to go into the Goo Manager program here. You'll notice actually down in the bottom right hand corner, and I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's actually gone out and found that my GApps, there's an update available, and then there's an update for my ROM. I'm going to take a look and see what we have here. I'm going to browse compatible ROMs. Now when I hit this, it's going to connect out to the Goo server, and it's going to find any ROMs that are available for my device. Anything that's compatible, anything that could possibly be used. Maybe I didn't hit it here. There we go. So it's going to go out and it's going to browse. Now, this is going to show me all the different options here, and there are the nightlies, the OpenKang project. Eyeballers suggested that I install his April 26 build, so I believe I might go ahead and do that here. Then there's other teams. Now, you'll be able to use this program to flip back and forth between different ROMs with ease from your tablet itself. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go into Eyeballers, and I am going to look at his nightlies, and for the Tenderloin, which is again is the touchpad, and I have all of his options available here. Now I'm going to go into April 26th, which is what some of them don't have change logs, and that's okay. If you really want to change logs, you can, I know the CyanogenMod nightlies have change logs. So I'm going to go ahead and begin download here. And just like it did with the TWRP, it's going out to the Goo server, and it's downloading the file, the appropriate file, and then we'll see what happens next. So now down in the bottom right hand corner, it is actually downloading. Now this is a couple 100 megabyte file, so I'm gonna pause the video here and I'll come back once it's done. Download is complete. It shows right here that it was downloaded successfully, and so what do we do next? Well, we're gonna actually have to click on it. Download complete. Important message about this feature: in order to use this feature, that you must have Open Recovery Script compatible recovery. Guess what? You do now. You install the TWRP too, so now you have the program that you need to be able to install this. So you can tell it, I have already installed one. And there it is. Now, as you download different ROMs or different packages from the Goo servers, they will stack up here, and you'll be able to go back and check them out and say, hey, wow, I want to install this one this time, or hey, I want to install this one, and they will stack up. Now, if you decide, oh wow, they're really stacking up, you can go up here to the menu, you can delete whichever ones are checked. So don't feel like, oh, it's going to eat up my memory or whatever. Okay, so it has the upgrade 426 that Eyeballer has recommended, and so I'm going to go ahead and order and flash selected down in the bottom right. And you have the options here to wipe the cache and Dalvik cache partition if I want to, which I'm going to do. I can create a backup of what I have there now, which again, very handy feature that it goes out to TWRP and automates that process for you. And then I can wipe the data partition. Now, wiping the data partition is basically a factory reset, get rid of all of my stuff and start over from scratch. In some situations, that is necessary. Now, I'm going from an official nightly from earlier in April to Eyeballer's 426 build, which there's not much different. I think he said the only thing different was that he uses different Adreno drivers, which is cool anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and flash that. Are you sure you'd like to continue flashing? Well, of course, I don't want to flash the wrong stuff. So now, obviously, this is universal. It's for any device. So whatever your device is, you would want to make sure that you double check and that you have some knowledge of which ROMs are available for your device versus any other. And I'm going to show you another feature here once we're done installing this that I think some of you will find very handy. So what it's done is it has initiated a script. It has rebooted your device, and it has taken you out to TWRP. And TWRP is now installing the update per the script that has written, and that is that is the culmination of these two pieces of software working together. Now, obviously, different updates are going to have different sizes, and the amount of time that it takes to install said update might vary, so please be patient. Also, as a little side note, you want to make sure that you have an adequate battery charge before you attempt to do any of this type of stuff. I have unfortunately heard horror stories of people who have attempted to flash their devices with, oh, I don't know, less than 50%, and it's very unfortunate that you have the potential of bricking your device, just like if you flash the wrong type of ROM, you have the possibility of getting stuck. Again, just make sure you got a decent charge. I usually go to 100%. The least amount of battery that I have had has been 72% for a full flash. So this is booting into Eyeballer's nightly ROM from 426. So we'll see what this looks like here. Now I'm just going to go ahead and turn the video off now and let this boot up because it's going to have to update all of my devices and whatnot. But once it's done, we'll come back and we'll take a look at GooManager one more time. All right. Well, here we go. We have this is the first boot after installing Eyeballer's ROM here. And I'm just waiting for everything to kind of settle down. The SD card is still settling and it's still finding my Wi-Fi. So, oh, there we go. Now we have Wi-Fi. Okay, well, the next step, let's go in and take a look at GooManager again. Some of you might be saying, oh, well, I don't want to have to go out and browse and decide which ROMs I want to use or whatnot. The check for updates option is actually where you're going to spend a lot of time when you go in here. And it'll actually go down here in the bottom right hand corner and it'll say that there are ROM updates available, or it'll tell you that there are updates for your G apps. The Google apps or the G apps is something that confuses a lot of you because you don't understand what the difference between the different versions are, or which one should I be running, or there's a new one out, do I need it? I'll just throw this out to you right now. Use GooManager to make that decision for you. If a little box pops up down here in the bottom right hand corner and says that there is a GApps update available, by all means hit it and let it update your GApps. If it tells you that there's an update to your ROM available, it's up to you if you want to use bleeding edge, latest and greatest, top of the line, just done last night or an hour ago technology. That's up to you. But it gives you the option to choose if you want to do that. Now, let's take a look here at the settings inside Goo Manager. You'll notice that you can run update check frequency, or ROM update check frequency. You can decide how often. Now, when you get to a point where you're talking about nightlies, nightlies means that each one of the changes is so small, or it's so minor, or it's not, maybe not even going to help your device specifically. You may want it, or you may not want it. It's up to you, but this will give you the option to check and see every time a new one is available. Now, currently, and talking specifically about the HP touchpad, currently the official nightlies aren't on the Goo servers. That's something that I was told would be down the road. So I'm gonna, and you can actually tell it to never check, so you can do it manually if you choose to. It also gives you the option to decide where to store them once you do download them, and by default it's on your SD card, which is logical. Okay, now here's the last thing I'm going to show you here in terms of Goo Manager. When I do check for updates, it went out and it found that there's an update for my ROM available, and I'm going to hit that, and you'll notice that it finds the 428, which is Eyeballer's latest and greatest from today, and this is the full version. So it took a better part of 4 or 5 minutes to download the full version of his 426 ROM. This here is his full version of 428. This is going to take that additional amount of time and download a full-size file. What I'm about to tell you here is breaking information. This is something that does not exist yet, and it was something that the Teamwin group shared with me. Incremental updates are in the future for Goo Manager. This is going to revolutionize nightly downloads. Imagine, if you will, instead of downloading a 200 or 300 or possibly 400 megabyte full-size ROM, that it only knows what the difference is between yesterday's and today's, and it knows that you only need X, Y, and Z, and creates, let's just say, a 30 to 40 megabyte file. That revolutionizes this to a point where it makes it a smaller file to get. And this is something that is coming down the road as early as later this week, possibly next week, but it is something that's coming down the road from the group, Teamwin, and the group who does the Goo Manager, working together. I know that Soup and Destroy and Eyeball are all talking about this. This is going to revolutionize so many of our devices, and more devices will come down the road. So I really encourage you to go out and get Goo Manager immediately from the app market, as long as your device is compatible. B, I want you to go out and check out Teamwin's website, and I want you to familiarize yourself with their projects and what they're doing and how they work. And then C, I want you to install all of this. I want you to install TWRP on your device. I want you to go out and get the latest and greatest nightlies, and I want you to make your device the way it's meant to be. Easy, simple, nice to upgrade, and I want you to say a big thanks to the Teamwin group for making all of this possible. And so the next time somebody asks me, well, what happened to TWRP, I'm going to send you 800 links to this video, and hopefully this video will straighten everybody out and know that yes, TWRP is very much so alive. It's got a new twin brother with Goo Manager, and they're just making everything fantastic. So this has been Reverend Kyle, your Minister of Mobile Devices, sharing with you the next evolution of open recovery with TWRP and the Goo Manager from the app market.